Hello students, I am Sapna Sangode, Assistant Professor at AISSMS, College of Hotel Management and Catering Technology, Pune. Welcome to this session of Environmental Science, where we are going to learn about the following terms. The first one is environment, the surrounding or conditions in which a person, animal or plant lives or operate include physical, chemical, biological and social factors. The another term, ecology, the scientific study of the relationship between living organism and their environment. Next, ecosystem, a community of living organisms interacting with each other and their physical environment. Biodiversity, the variety of life forms on Earth, including species diversity, genetic diversity, and ecosystem diversity. Sustainability, meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Pollution, the introduction of contaminants into the natural environment that cause adverse change. Next, climate change, long-term shift in temperature, precipitations and other atmospheric conditions due to human activities, particularly the emission of greenhouse gases. Next, natural resources, materials or substances such as minerals, forest, water and fertile land that occur in nature and can be used for economic gain. Renewable energy, energy derived from resources that are naturally replenished on a human timescale, such as sunlight, wind, rain, tides, waves, and geothermal heat. Environmental Impact Assessment, EIA, a process of evaluating the likely environmental impacts of a proposed project or development, taking into account interrelated socio-economic, cultural, and human health impacts. Sustainable development, development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Conservations, the protection, preservations, management, or restorations of natural environment and the ecological communities that inhabited them. Carbon footprint, the total amount of greenhouse gases emitted directly or indirectly by human activities, usually expressed in equivalent tons of carbon dioxide. Habitat destructions, the process by which natural habitats are rendered functionally unable to support the species present, leading to the extinctions of species. Environmental justice, the fair treatment or meaningful involvement of all people regardless of race, color, national origin, or income concerning the development, implementations, and enforcement of environmental laws, regulations, and policies. These terms provide a solid foundation for understanding the complexities of environmental studies and can serve as a starting point for a deeper exploration. Ecosystems, a community of living organisms interacting with each other and their physical environment. Biome, a large naturally occurring community of flora and fauna occupying a major habitat such as forest or tundra. Community, all the interacting populations of organisms occupying an ecosystem. Populations, a group of individuals of the same species occupying a specific area and sharing resources. Abiotic factors, non-living chemical and physical components of the environment that affect living organisms and the functioning of ecosystem. For example, temperature, water, sunlight, soil. Biotic factors, living components of an ecosystem including all organisms such as plants, animals, fungi, and microorganisms. Producer, an organism, typically a green plant or algae that produces its own food through photosynthesis, serving as the primary source of energy in an ecosystem. Consumer, an organism that obtains energy by consuming other organisms or organic matter. Herbivore, an organism that primarily feeds on plants. Carnivore, an organism that primarily feeds on other animals. Omnivore, an organism that feeds on both plants and animals. Decomposer, an organism such as bacteria or fungi that breaks down dead organic matter into simpler substances, facilitating nutrients recycling in ecosystem. Food chain, a linear sequence of organisms, each depends on the next as a source of food. Food web, a complex network of interconnected food chains representing the flow of energy and nutrients through an ecosystem. Trophic level, a hierarchical level in an ecosystem consisting of organisms that share the same functions in the food chain and the same nutritional relationship to the primary source of energy. Ecological niche, the role and position of a species or populations within an ecosystem, including its habitat requirements, behavior, and interactions with other organisms. Habitat, the specific environment in which an organism lives, characterized by its physical and biological features. Succession, the process by which the structure of biological community evolves over time, typically following a disturbance or the establishment of a new habitat. Forest ecosystem, a community of living organisms and their physical environment within a forest area, including trees, plants, animals, fungi, microorganisms, soil, and abiotic factors. Canopy, the upper layer of vegetations formed by the crown of trees in a forest. Understory, the layer of vegetations beneath the canopy consisting of smaller trees, shrubs, and herbaceous plants. Forest floor, the lowest layer of vegetation in a forest, consisting of leaf litter, soil, and ground-dwelling plants, fungi, and animals. Coniferous forest, a forest dominated by cone-bearing trees such as pine, spruce, fir, and cedar, typically found in colder regions with longer winters. Mixed forest, a forest containing a mixture of both deciduous and coniferous tree species. Old growth forest, a forest ecosystem that has developed over a long period without significant disturbance, characterized by mature trees, complex structure, and high biodiversity. Secondary forest, a forest ecosystem that has regrown after a significant disturbance, such as logging, fire, or agriculture, often consisting of younger trees and simplified structure compared to old growth forest. Biodiversity hotspot, a region with exceptionally high levels of species richness and endemism, often found in tropical rainforest and other forest ecosystem. Forest regenerations, the natural process of new tree growth and establishment in a forest ecosystem, typically following disturbances of deforestation. Forest management, the planning and implementation of practices to sustainably utilize and conserve forest resources, balancing ecological, economic, and social objective. Silviculture, the practice of controlling the establishment, growth, compositions, health, and quality of forests to meet diverse needs and values. Forest fragmentations, the breaking up of large forested areas into smaller isolated patches, often resulting from human activities such as agriculture, urbanizations, and infrastructure development. Forest conservations, the protection and preservation of forest ecosystems and their biodiversity, often through the establishment of protected areas, sustainable management practices, and restoration efforts. Carbon sequestrations, the process by which forests absorb and store atmospheric carbon dioxide through photosynthesis, helping to mitigate climate change. Wildlife corridor, a continuous stripe of habitat that connects fragmented forest patches, facilitating the movement of species and promoting genetic exchange. Grassland ecosystem, a biome dominated by grasses and herbaceous plants and relatively few trees or shrubs, found in region with semi-arid to some humid climate. Savanna, a type of a grassland ecosystem characterized by a mixture of grasses and scattered trees or shrubs, typically found in tropically or subtropical region. Steppe, a grassland ecosystem with a semi-arid climate characterized by grasses, herbs, and a lack of trees or shrubs. Prairie, a type of grassland ecosystem found in temperate region, particularly North America, dominated by grasses and forests with a few trees. Well, a grassland ecosystem found in Southern Africa, characterized by tall grasses, scattered shrubs, and occasional trees. Pampas, a type of grassland ecosystem found in South America, particularly in Argentina and Uruguay, characterized by fertile soil and grassland used for agriculture. Steppes of Eurasia, grassland ecosystem found in Eurasia, particularly in Central Asia, characterized by a semi-arid climate and grasses adapted to drought conditions. Tall grass prairie, a type of prairie ecosystem characterized by tall grass species such as big blue stem, switchgrass, and Indian grass found in the central United States. Shortgrass prairie, a type of prairie ecosystem characterized by short grass species such as buffalo grass and blue grama found in the western United States and Canada. Mixed grass prairie, a type of prairie ecosystem with a mixture of tall and short grass species found in the transition zone between tall grass and short grass prairies. Herbivore, an organism that primarily feeds on plants such as grazing mammals including bison, antelope, and zebras, which are important components of grassland ecosystem. Grassland fire, natural or human included fires that play a vital role in shaping grassland ecosystem by controlling woody vegetations, promoting nutrient cycling, and maintaining plant diversity. Grazing, the consumption of grasses and other plant material by herbivores, which influences plant community composition, structure, and dynamics in grassland ecosystem. Grassland restoration, the process of returning degraded grassland ecosystem to a more natural state through the implementations of management practices such as prescribed burning, grazing management, and native species reintroduction. Grassland conservation, the protection and preservation of grassland ecosystem and their biodiversity, often through the establishment of protected area, sustainable and management practices and restoration efforts. Desert, a biome characterized by low precipitation levels, typically less than 250 millimeters of rains annually, resulting in arid or semi-arid condition. Xerophyte, a plant species adapted to survive in arid environment, often characterized by features such as succulent leaves, deep root system, and reduced leaf surface area to minimize water loss. Adaptation, a characteristics or trait that enhances an organism's survival and reproduction in a specific environment, such as desert adapted plants and animal processing traits for water conservation, thermoregulations, and camouflage. Ephemeral, temporary or short-lived, often used to describe water sources in desert ecosystem that appear only briefly after rainfall events. Drought, an extended period of abnormally low precipitations leading to water shortages and environmental stress in desert ecosystem. Sand dune, a mound or ridge of sand formed by wind actions, a prominent feature of many desert landscapes. Endemism, the ecological phenomena where species are unique to a particular geographic area, often found in desert ecosystem with isolated habitat and specialized adaptations. So students, in these sessions we have learned the term and their detailed explanations, like forest ecosystems, where we have learned a community of living organisms and their physical environment within a forest area, including trees, plants, animals, microorganisms, abiotic factors. Then we have learned the term of grassland ecosystem, forest ecosystem, desert ecosystems, understood the forest floor, the lowest layer of vegetations in a forest consisting of a leaf litter, soil and ground dwelling plants, fungi and animals. These all are the terms which we have learned in these sessions. Thank you.